All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Oil Stream, brought to you by a Boston Pizza. Shout out to Tara and the BP's crew for the pizza yesterday.
They're awesome. I'm thinking of all the Boston Pizza at Boston Pizza Westgate. All of us are going to enjoy after our bets with Tony.
Oh, man. Yeah, you guys got Boston Pizza's got to wrangle in Tony a little bit.
He was dripping with swag. He
was betting every single person he could about Tomasek and Mangiapane goals.
And Wallman.
Was he doing Wallman too?
Yeah, he's like Wallman 15 by the end of the first half of the season.
What?
Yeah.
Nobody got that bet with him.
Trev was like, I wish I got him.
Tony, are you watching or listening today? And if you are, do you remember the bets that you made last night? Because we all remember. And it's going to be BP's forever.
Yes. We're going to eat like kings.
Forever.
Curtis is probably like, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Curtis is just like, oh, God.
Oh, my God. First of all, they're already awesome to it. We love them, obviously. But Tony was dripping with swag with these bets. Dripping with swag. And the best part, when I made the bet with Tony and I was getting clarification on what the exchange was, Collingwood Rob strolls up and he just goes, you know what, guys? I'll witness the bet. I'm like, perfect. Oh, we're going to eat so well at BP.
God. Yeah.
We already do. That's the
we love BP's.
Thing. Yes.
Their summer menu is absolutely delicious.
It is
phenomenal. And we'll get to eat it every day next summer as well. Thanks to Tony at Boston Pizza. But thanks to Tara at Boston Pizza.
Yes.
They have pizza. Pizza on the course was perfect. All the food yesterday. So we had BP's Boston Pizza. I had a slice of meteor.
So I got a fresh
round. Come on, are you
great.
kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
And actually, mine was a little crispy. I think the heater there.
Yeah.
Do they actually heat it up a little bit?
Yeah, mine was like,
yeah, it was nice and warm. It was it was good.
Like heat coming off of it.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good.
Steam.
So, we had a great time yesterday. Huge thanks to Tara and the crew over at BP's for hopping on board with the EST Golf Classic as well.
CBH had poutine.
Yeah, we had the poutine. River Cree had some great tacos.
Those tacos were great.
That was on like our second last hole too. I was hungry. Those tacos were legit.
Yeah, Leah had creamsicles and freezies from Capital Care Foundation.
Yeah. It was too early in the day for us to hit those.
I had it pretty early. I got bad brain freeze. She is very lovely.
She's a nice lady, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great to meet you, Leah.
Yeah. All in all, it was a tremendous day. Hopefully you'll be able to make it to one of our tournaments.
The Brewhouse girls were. They were fantastic.
We saw them 2 holes in.
Did you write a note to them? I sure did.
No. You tell me the truth right now, Tommy. Did you put your phone number on that note?
I did not.
Oh, I don't believe you for a second.
I did not. I thought they were giggling like schoolgirls after they read it.
Oh, were they?
I was kind of embarrassed because I was hoping they would read it after we left. But
they read it right there.
They were like, oh my God, we're keeping this one.
Tommy!
I'll tell you what I said later. But
Ladies and gentlemen, Casanova.
Yeah. Something.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's dive into your Popeyes spicy headlines, brought to you by Furby and all his crew over at Popeyes, where if you're looking for a perfect summer snack, the chicken wraps are now on special, so you want to get your hands on those. We're going to hear what Ike...
So Isaac Howard,
Ike. Yeah, he wants to go as Ike.
Off the top of the media availability today, which we are going to hear, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It was pointed out to us, Jamie Cartmel and Ike, who was present in the Zoom call, obviously, said that he'd prefer to go by Ike instead of Isaac. So I just tweeted it out, and people are there.
I don't know why it's got so many retweets.
I'm getting Ike from South Park. I'm getting Dwight Eisenhower memes.
Has there ever been an NHL player named Ike?
I can't remember
first
one.
Ike in the history of the league? I feel like it is.
I can't remember, but yeah.
So Ike Howard.
Ike Howard. And there's obviously people who don't like it. Just Jackson likes it. Like,
yeah, I saw some of the responses. Seems like a lot of overreaction, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
whatever. I prefer Tom over Thomas. T Smoke. What? I don't know.
I
come up with a silly nickname. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I don't think it's bad. I have no.
But it's not even really a shortening, eh? Like Isaac.
Would it be like?
That's what I'm like. Do a lot of Isaacs go by Ike, or is he just like?
I don't know.
I like the name Ike, and I just want to be called that.
Whatever. It's if that's what he wants to be called, that's what he wants to be called. And you know what? People will love it if he plays very well for the team and scores a lot of goals and gets a lot of points and helps them win games.
Here it is. People commonly shorten the name Isaac to Izzy, Ike, or Zach.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we've got that figured out. What else did you take? We're gonna play it, but what Trev, let me know when it's ready. We'll hear what he had to say today. But what did you take away from it?
It's just for me, like he says all the usuals. Like when we watch these, we're like, okay, wants to play in the NHL, excited to play with McDavid and Draisaitl, all the usual stuff that guys that are coming to the team generally talk about. I thought he was like pretty smooth. There's obviously some confidence to him. Reed asked some great stuff in regard to like his, growing up. Was he a Packers fan and this and that? I'm not going to give away his answer, but I don't know. They've got somebody here that has a little moxie, and that's okay. And if he fits in with the guys on the team, they're obviously going to want to see him in a position to succeed. And if he fits in well with the guys on and off the ice, fantastic, good trade, But I think there's a lot of question marks still. I know people are very excited about this player, and I understand why. I said it a little bit on the hangout, but I'm always a little bit leery of guys coming out of NCAA that get heaped a bunch of expectation on them, and then it takes time for some of them. Hopefully it works out, really. And then to trade Sam O'Reilly, who I really liked, but Benny did a good job of saying it. Like O'Reilly's a few years away.
Yeah. They fast forwarded the timeline.
Exactly. It's a big swing.
What they should be doing right now.
Yeah, it's a big swing, and hopefully it connects. And if it doesn't, then all right, you go searching again. But this could be good. We'll see. There's potential. There's really good potential here.
Waddy in Cloverdale says, Ike, baby. The goal song writes itself.
I think you could come up with some pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Instead of Ice Ice Baby. That's right, Zach. Yeah, he's the Iceman.
There's only one Iceman in my world. R.I.P.
Shout out to you,
Sweet Prince.
Mr. Val Kilmer.
That's right.
Okay, so I saw some people say, Oilers pay a steep price to get Howard. But to be honest with you,
is it?
I think they actually, I don't think they did. They traded a guy that's projected to be a third line center.
Yep.
For a guy who's going to play top six for you this year. Like, how is that? To me, the price was not steep.
No.
The price was more than fair, actually, to get a player of this reported caliber.
Right.
That Ike Howard is going to be.
I think gamble is more appropriate than steep price.
I don't even know in what way.
Just they're taking a chance, expecting him to do big things.
Now. Yeah.
So I'd say it's more of a gamble. That's the term I would use. But then again, like you don't know what Sam O'Reilly does become. Although, my interactions with him were great in training camp and the exhibition season. I think he's going to just be a good dude in the league for a long time. Like he was great to talk to, lots of personality as well. Was great in London, obviously, on a fantastic team. I look at it as like, I would describe, to me, it's a bit of a gamble because you're rolling the dice, hoping it speeds up the process.
Yeah.
You get a guy who's more ready, and has that offensive
So you're
punch.
thinking it's a bit of a gamble for what the team is hoping to accomplish this year? Like taking a guy with no experience and basically slotting him into the top six on a championship caliber club?
Yeah, sure. Like, and just expecting him to have an impact in a positive way right away. You know, I use Rutger McGroarty from Pittsburgh as kind of I'm like, hey, that was a guy that had hype, swag, kind of dictated to the Jets what was going to happen.
100% he did, yeah.
They gave him what he wanted, goes to Pittsburgh, and what did he last? Like 10 games, and he was down in the minors the rest of the year. And he got chirped hard in Winnipeg.
Oh, Winnipeg knows no bounds.
Those are good sports fans in Winnipeg. I like when they jingle the keys if you leave early at games.
Yeah.
Beat the traffic. Like I saw that at a Bombers game back in the day, and I was like, that is brilliant. Anyway, I hope it works out. Like
Bones
I know
is describing it as a calculated gamble.
Whatever, Bones. No, yes. Actually, that's a good way to put it. No problem with that.
Mike outside Edmonton, is he a higher pedigree than Hudson?
Yeah,
yes.
Seems like it. I think that's pretty. That's
I mean,
consensus.
he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Hudson was signed as a college free agent.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, 100% stand by that one with you.
Statue Boss Productions over in the chat says, cold as Ike. No, you know what we do there? That's a goal by Ike.
Ooh.
Right?
Get a little foreigner going.
Yeah. Goal by Ike.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Zacticum's loving it out there.
Oh,
he's having a bowl of rice, and he's loving every minute of it out there.
He's just, look at you, big smile.
Chris in the chat says, I'd rather have Howard in the top 6 over Podkolzin.
I understand.
Wait a second. Wait, stop the presses. Are you about to make a case for Podkolzin to be a top 6 forward?
No.
What is this?
All I'm going to say is one guy has played multiple seasons in the NHL, while another guy has not played an NHL game. I don't like the jumping to conclusions. But that's me. And I'm always like, I'm leery and I second guess everything. That's just in my nature. I don't get me wrong. I probably, who was it that sent that one in?
I'm too stunned.
Anyway.
I'm too stunned to even think about who sent it in.
Ike probably has better offensive instincts than Podkolzin.
Probably. What are we doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, mark it down. July 9th. Surveyor Brett, if you're listening somewhere, put it in your phone. Tom Gazzola becomes Podkolzin guy.
Oh my, that's a stretch.
Wednesday, July 9th.
Although Podkolzin can be effective, he's just not a top 6 player. Anyway, I caution people to get too excited and put too much emphasis on this guy right out of the gate. And then, because then they're going to end up being disappointed. I hope it works out. I really do. It's just not a lot of guys step right out of NCAA hockey and become NHL superstars.
Induced comic over in the chat says, we got Tom defending pods before we got GTA 6. When does GTA 6 drop?
GTA 6, it's been taking forever to come out.
Isn't it been like years between
I think
games?
they've been developing it for like 5+ years.
It's going to have to be awesome. Not that I played any other GTAs anyway. That's when we go around, shoot people and steal cars?
That's right.
Yeah. Never played that one.
It's a lot of fun.
This text is in from Mike, texting in for the first time. Hey guys, like the show. I'm listening on TuneIn out here on the Rock.
Nice.
I think everyone needs to rein in the expectations on the Iceman. 50. Wow, that's a great nickname. Like in a league that doesn't have good nicknames, somebody being known as Iceman almost automatically becomes a top 10 nickname. Iceman. The Iceman gets it done again. Anyway, 52 points in college, 20 to 30 goals playing with Draisaitl, AHL call-up at worst, third-line winger at best. Remember Joe Hulbig?
I do remember Joe Hulbig.
God, what a drop.
Nice. Where did you pull that one out of? That's
Joe
fantastic.
Hulbig drop.
He played with Joaquin.
Really?
Joe Hulbig, yeah.
Now, Hulbig, was he...
He got called up a couple of times too, I think.
He did. I was like, was he one of the guys who never... He played 55 games.
Mm-hmm. He didn't pan out. Like, I think he was like a higher end pick, I think. American guy.
He was a 13th overall pick,
Mm-hmm.
drafted out of St. Sebastian's, Massachusetts high school.
Oh, wow. Out of high school.
And then he went to Providence College for 4 years.
I think the Oilers drafted a couple guys out of high school. I think John Marino might have been one of those guys, if I recall correctly. Interesting. I don't know. To me, I'm fascinated by it. Hopeful, optimistic, but I always am like, I talked about Justin Schultz earlier in the day, and I know one guy's a forward, another guy's defenseman. The Oilers sucked back then.
They did suck back then.
They're a good team now, so this is a bit different, but
you could not draw up a better place for a rookie than on the wing for McDavid or Draisaitl.
Now, I mean, if Tampa found a way to squeeze him in, that would have been a good situation too. Like, he's going from a good organization to a good organization.
All right, and we had Eric Erlinson on the Nielsen show this morning, around 6:30. If you want to go back and check it out, I thought it was great insight. It was basically like they were speaking very, very highly of him up until his team got eliminated. He's like, I want to be in the show right now, and they're like, you're gonna have to go to the American League. Mm-hmm. And then that was when it was just like, yeah, well, that's not working for me.
I was going to ask you about that, and we'll get to him right away here. Sorry, Trev.
Yeah, we're gonna play his availability.
What do you make of college guys kind of dictating where they play, when they play, who they play for? Because that's happening more and more. And it's not new. It's happened in the past, obviously. I mean, like Justin Schultz is an example of that. But what do you think of that? Because there's more and more of these guys controlling their destiny in terms of where they end up. What do you think of that?
Look, I don't necessarily like it,
mm-hmm.
but when they can be in a spot where they could just be like, I'll just wait and then I'll sign somewhere. I don't know. I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but does it happen with more American kids than Canadian kids?
100%.
Okay,
it
well,
does.
then
yes,
I think it's a bit of a. I mean, I'll just say a bit of an elitist American athlete thing that they just decide to dictate where they're going to go. Yeah. But if they can do it and it works, then I guess full power to them.
If you can put your money where your mouth is,
it is.
Then fantastic.
Rutger McGroarty played 8 games with the Penguins this year, had 3 points, and had 14 goals in the American League in 60 games.
Remember all the hoopla around that?
He's a big deal.
Yeah.
But he's 21, mind you. This guy's 21 as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he met on a Zoom with Edmonton media for the first time today. Here's the newest member of the Edmonton Oilers, Ike.
I understand you played in the Brick tournament about 10 years ago here. Is that true?
Yeah, that was my first thing I thought of, actually. So I went to Edmonton once, stayed at that West Edmonton Mall, I think it's called.
Yeah.
If I remember, it was pretty sweet. So yeah, it was a fun tournament.
What do you remember about that? Like, it was just kind of it's a pretty elite tournament, but what do you remember about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously super cool. Like, you play on the ice sheet just in the middle of the mall, which at that age, obviously, it feels like you're in the Stanley Cup final, right? It's such a big deal. So it was really fun. And then just the little stuff, like I think there was a big water park we went to and maybe some roller coasters or stuff in the mall. So it was pretty fun.
Can you just give me a quick thought on the trade and then getting an opportunity to come to Edmonton? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm super psyched. It's such an unreal opportunity. I'm grateful that Tampa was able to make this done. And I can't wait to get started, and definitely such a cool place, and couldn't be happier.
Thanks, Ike.
Hey, Derek, we'll go to Reed Wilkins. Go ahead, Reed.
Thanks, Jamie. Hi, Ike. Welcome to the Oilers. I wonder if you can take us through these last few weeks or so. I mean, your name was out there as a rumor to be traded somewhere, likely to be Edmonton. I'm just curious, what was it like dealing with all of that, the speculation, and were the Oilers sort of a preferred destination for you if you did get moved?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a unique time. I was back at school, training to go back. Obviously, I knew there was a possibility of a trade. I didn't want to put all my chips in one basket, obviously. And so I was here, just training, trying to be with the team and stuff and be grounded. And, I kind of found out of the blue a little bit last night, pretty much maybe an hour before everyone else. So it was super cool moment. I knew, I met with Edmonton and, this was probably the spot I wanted to go. It just checks all my boxes, and I knew if there was somehow it could happen, I would absolutely love it. And so when I found that out, I was just super pumped up and couldn't be happier.
All right. And on a slightly different note, I see your birthplace is Wisconsin. Did you grow up there? SK. So the question is, when you were a kid, were your athletic heroes hockey players or Packers? Who were some of the guys or athletes you looked up to as a kid?
Yeah, so I grew up in Hudson, Wisconsin, right on that border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So growing up, I've never been huge into football. Kind of always just a hockey-oriented guy. So the Minnesota Wild was like 30 minutes away from me. And so that's kind of the team, like the games I would go to and stuff. Marion Gaborik, when I was really young, was kind of a guy I loved to watch and look up to. So I think, probably him and maybe some other NHL guys at that time, but more of a hockey guy than football.
Thank you. We'll go to Paige Martin of EdmontonOilers.com.
Hey, I just want to ask you about your last few years of development and specifically with Michigan State playing in the NCAA. How did you find that has really prepared you to be able to, step into the NHL level?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more grateful for this place. I had two of my best years here. I think what this school and, coaching staff, everyone just has such high class, and I think they've helped me a lot as a person outside the arena, and I think that's helped me on the ice. I focus a lot on play away from the puck and defensive stuff with Nightingale and all the other coaches, and I think they're world class. They preach development first, and I think if you can buy in, you're going to get the most out of this place. And I think it's worked for me, and I couldn't be more grateful.
There's a lot of people who are so excited about your talent and how you can fit into the Edmonton Oilers, especially, playing with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. What is it about your work ethic that could help you be one of those top 6 guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I was so excited about this fit. I watched every single Oilers playoff game the last couple of years. I think just watching, it's such a high pace, skilled and fast, work ethic first. I think that's kind of exactly my game. And I think that's why this could be such a great fit, and, why I was really excited.
Thank you, Ike. We'll go to Global Edmonton. Go ahead.
Hey, Isaac, it's Slav here. Kind of on that note, I know you kind of touched on it already, but just there's a possibility that you could play alongside McDavid or Draisaitl this season, or perhaps both. Can you just share your thoughts on, the potential of that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an unreal opportunity. I don't think you can get any better than that. Those are two of the best players in the world, right? Could be the two best. It's pretty incredible. I can't wait to share the ice with those guys, pick their brain. They're different in their own ways, and they're both so talented and so good. So, just hearing that, it's pretty incredible.
And one more for me. You went from 8 goals in your first year at Michigan State to 26 this past season. Can you kind of talk about what allowed you to, improve, from an offensive standpoint from year 1 to year 2 at Michigan State?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just tried to really buy in. I thought I had a solid sophomore season. I thought I could do much more into my junior year. And, I just try to buy in, listen to the coaches, what I need to work on. I think getting better in areas away from the puck helped me this year get into, more offensive chances. And, I think ultimately just finding the back of the net, I think I had more of score mentality this year, and I wanted to score, and I think again just kind of buying in, and I was able to have a good year.
Or to Jim Conlon of RCB Radio Ireland.
Hi, Isaac. Welcome to the Oilers. Welcome to a championship pedigree team. Isaac, I'm just wondering there about your fit again in terms of your youth and your freshness that you can bring to the Oilers. Obviously, this is a championship pedigree team. A veteran team, we mentioned McDavid, Draisaitl, 28, 29. You're 21. You've 7 years, they're junior. How do you feel that maybe youth and energy that you can bring to the ice is going to help the Edmonton Oilers?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to try to be myself. I absolutely just love the game. I think I have a great passion. I think that's one thing that I do well is, bring energy to practice and workouts. And, I love what I do. And I think that can rub off on people in a good way and positive energy around the rink and stuff like that. And then, obviously on the ice, just, using my speed, my shot, my IQ, just trying to bring my game and do whatever I can to help the team. And, hopefully we'll all be trying to accomplish the collective goal.
Just a reminder, everybody, if you do have a question, to use the raise hand function. We'll circle back to Derek Van Diest of NHL.com.
Like obviously the trade with you was big news yesterday, but also Gavin McKenna's going to Penn State. I just wondering if you had a thought on him going and playing in the Big Ten next year.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. I had lunch with him last week at school here, actually. So, I think it's obviously great for college hockey. It's definitely in a unique spot where now you have all these CHL guys flowing in. We have a bunch on our team. Caden Lindstrom, 4th overall picks coming in as a freshman. He's looked really good. So it's definitely it's a different spot, right? And I think it's going to be a good, cool challenge for college hockey. Obviously, I think he should have went here, in my opinion, but still cool nonetheless for the Big Ten and for college hockey.
Were you trying to recruit him?
I mean, I let him know how much I love this place, and in my opinion, there's no better spot. So that's all I can say.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
We'll go to Ryan Rashog of TSN.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
All right, perfect. Thanks. I just wanted to talk about kind of making the jump to the NHL from where you've played. Kind of if you've talked to some other guys that have done what you're about to try and do, and kind of what you expect from the challenge. I think a lot of people expect you to just be able to do it, but you got to go do it. So what are you expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got a lot of buddies who've been in similar spots and, already have a handful that's in the NHL playing, made that jump. I got a cool opportunity at Men's World Championships this year to just be engraved in that kind of system of pro hockey, how those guys, act and stuff like that. So I think that was super valuable. And yeah, I mean, I think it obviously a lot to do with your mindset. It's going to be faster and stronger, and it's the league that everyone's goal is to get there and play. So I think a lot has to stem just from a mindset and being confident in your abilities and just embracing the challenge.
In some of your interviews, I mean, obviously you like to have fun. You had the great suit at the draft. Seems to be lots of personality there. How would you kind of describe your presence in and among the group and your approach from an attitude and personality standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to have fun at times and, just be myself and, make light in some situations and stuff. And at the same time, I think I'm a super serious guy, hockey driven, works really hard, kind of willing to do whatever to help the team. I think it's just it's a healthy blend and bringing good energy, being upbeat. And, like I said, that can rub off on guys. And, you always want to have good vibes in locker rooms and on the ice and stuff like that. So, just try to do all that.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody said in the chat, did DVD find that Irish reporter at Kelly's pub? That was incredible.
It was awesome.
I had no idea that was going to be popping in there.
It was a pleasant. So I don't think I've come across. That was Kerry Condon. I don't think I've come across him. I'll let you guys know there have been international reporters coming in more lately. There was a Dutch guy. DVD brought him to Kelly's once. I can't remember his name. He came and hung out one night after a post-game show. Cord was his name, and he was Dutch. He was very, very pleasant. I had a hard time understanding what he said half the time. There's been a bunch of German reporters that have come in there. I think there was Japanese at one point. But yeah, that was a pleasant surprise.
That was, yeah. I was getting up to grab the remote to throw on the Jays game. And Tommy's like, listen to this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? I just looked it up. Is the name Isaac Irish? Like this kid must have some Irish background. Why else would that guy be on the call? So it says,
maybe. Yeah.
So I Google it. AI popped up an answer. Well, the name Isaac is not of Irish origin. It is a common name in Ireland, both as a given name and a surname.
I thought Isaac was like a biblical name. Wasn't it? Or am I just...
It says it originates from a Hebrew name, meaning he will laugh.
So he likes to have a good time.
But anyway, that's... that kind of came out, and it's a good question. But that was...
I loved it.
That was interesting. All right, anything else you take away from... I kind of got totally sidetracked with about 4 minutes left. But it was...
you know what? Like, it's good. It feels good. People are happy about it. Obviously, he's excited about the opportunity. And now it's just like when we get to September, which is way too soon that I want it to be from now. Let's see what he does. Like, give him a chance. It's not all going to be roses. If it is, then great. That's fantastic. But give him some time. He's going to need to adapt to the NHL. He's going to be probably put into a great situation. And if he does have swagger, he can go into that situation and maybe he handles it better than most 21-year-olds walking into a locker room with a team that just went to the Cup final 2 years in a row and some of the best players in the world. So let's see what he does.
I know Erlinson, Lightning Insider, who was on the show this morning on the Nielson show. You can check it out. Podcasts, YouTube, you'll find it. He did say that, and this is a typical offensive young player, that there are areas of the game that he has been working on, but will continue to need to work on. So I'm trying to, it's always like the first thing I said this morning, I said, how sexy would Ike Howard, Leon Draisaitl, and Matt Savoy be? Like 2 young offensive wingers with Leon, significant offensive upgrade on Podkolzin and Kapanen, but those guys have been around the league. They know the smaller things that they need to do and stuff. And I've got my first post Ike Howard line combinations here.
What was it, like 4,500 and something?
Yeah, we did the math on it today with 15 forwards and 12 of them slotting in. There's like 4,300 different line combinations that the Oilers could possibly use.
Well, we've got
We're
a
going
lot
to
of
get
time
to all of them during the summer.
As we should.
But no, let's dive into, we're going to do, I'll dish out what I'm thinking lines wise, but I want to get into the numbers game because, so this trade for Howard has completely turned the offseason for YouTube, Trev.
He was so excited.
He was on tilt for 3 weeks.
Yep.
And since then, like as of this morning, he's like, this is it. This is the move. So sorry.
Oh,
we're trying to get internet set up in the new place.
There's so much stuff happening around here.
Maddie needs a code
over the last few days. And then, the whole moving thing. So it's literally happening and we're getting it set up. Hello, Matthew.
Good there? All right. Best of luck in getting the internet transferred over. So yeah, Trev was super. I mean, he's talking Calder already. By the way, the request has been put in to see how long it would take to get Calder odds up for this guy at Play Alberta.
All right.
I'm not expecting it anytime soon. I mean, we're months away from the season, but
Trevor's pretty stoked about it. I was kind of giving him the gears. I'm like, come on, he's not going to. I was happy in the nasty chat was giving it to me. And I actually, for a twisted joke of my very own, for my own personal pleasure, I started poo-pooing on it to Trev to see how he would react. He said, come on, Tommy.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't want none of that. He doesn't want any of that smoke.
And I was like, I feel bad. And then I just said, I'm actually optimistic. It works out.
So he did throw out. Trev said, what about 30 goals? Playing in the top 6.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, God love Trev. I know today he's like an overexcited Oilers fan, but nobody is getting 30 goals on this team unless they're on PP1.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly doubt that's going to be the case to start for the next year or so, or a little bit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But as Nuge gets older and stuff, maybe Howard does eventually play on a power play,
I'm
right?
curious to see his playmaking ability. Because I was watching his highlights. He's a good goal
He's
scorer.
got a wicked shot.
Yeah.
He's
like tenacious, it looks like.
But here's the numbers game for Play Alberta. If you know how you download a Play Alberta app, please do. And use the code EST Sports. Deposit $20, get 50. The one Jay and I put together, that 4 Alberta parlay. All of our other special bets, we got CFL teaser on there still. All the Jay stuff's done because Jay's game's already on.
Mm-hmm.
But our 4 Alberta parlay, Calgary Stampeders plus 6.5, Elks to win, and Chance Vegan to win the Chuck Wagons, 6-1.
I love that we're getting in on the Stampede action
Plus 600.
And it hit the other day, didn't it?
He did hit Chance Vegan earlier in the week. So anyway, both of our parlays that are up right now on the EST special page, plus 600. Once again, huge shout out to Play Alberta for being partners with us, the golf tournament, and obviously the lock shop every single day as well. Can you name the 5 rookies? So this is the whole conversation about could he score 30? I think the answer is 100% no, not to shade the guy, but I think Craig Button said this morning, Button says he is ready to play on one of those guys' wings. He said he would expect him to get 15 goals, but wouldn't be surprised if he got more. But 30 is a tall task.
Yeah, that is.
Can you name the 5 rookies since 2015 who have scored 30 goals in their rookie season?
Since 2015?
Since 2015.
So that would be Matthews.
Matthews is one of them.
He'd have to be in there. Who else hit 30 as a rookie?
This would be from McDavid's rookie year on.
Yeah.
Like including McDavid's rookie year.
Including McDavid's rookie year. So Matthews would be 1. Let's go around the league here. Some big. Did Pettersson?
No.
Okay.
This is not easy. I don't expect you to get it.
No.
There's a few others. There's one out there that I think you could probably get.
Who? Panarin. No, this is 2015.
Panarin.
Panarin was before McDavid, wasn't he? Oh, same year.
Yeah, same rookie class.
Okay, Panarin.
Right? Remember Panarin won.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So Panarin. 2 more that.
How about Gensel?
No, not Gensel. Somebody else guessed Gensel earlier today.
Yeah, he's got a good goal score for him.
Okay, I'll give you some clues.
Give me a hint.
One, actually, 2 of these guys did it as Winnipeg Jets.
As Jets? Oh, God. How am I? Oh, Connor?
Kyle Connor.
Yeah.
And before him.
Before Kyle Connor would have been... Oh, God. Is he still on the team?
Same year as Austin Matthews.
I don't think of the Winnipeg Jets. Is he still with the Jets?
No.
Nikolai Ehlers.
No.
Who was it?
Patrick Laine.
Oh, Laine. Did he get 40 that year?
I don't know if he got. I don't think he got 40 that year.
You forgot about him.
Okay, and then there's one more that nobody I think would ever get. Kubalik. Kubalik was the last rookie to get 30.
Wow.
And he did it in 1920. So no rookie has got 30 goals in the last 4 years.
Damn. Blueberry's Life says, come on, Tom. I'll tell you what. Tom had a long day yesterday. His brain isn't working as quickly as it usually does. And even that is a moderate pace. But that's a good list. Interesting.
Yeah. Those are the 5 guys. So it's going to be tough to score. And these guys, Kubalik must have been playing power play in Chicago.
Had to have been. And that was,
and the other guys would have all been
of
power play guys too. And Panarin was riding with Kane. Now he's going to be playing with one of McDavid or Draisaitl, but if you're not going to be on the power play, could you imagine if he scored 30 5-on-5 goals? He might be on PP2, maybe, but
I remember Panarin and Kane that rookie year, and those guys and the passes they would make and the way they could play off of one another was amazing. I think Panarin scored a hat trick one night at United Center. I remember being like, who is this? This guy's great. And they were going east-west, and he was like one-timing goals from the sidewall. This guy's a beast, and obviously he is, but those are some really good players. The Kubalik one, you're like,
yeah,
really?
You could have sat there all day. I don't think anybody would have got Kubalik off the dome, as they say. All right, that's your numbers game for Play Alberta. All right, Tommy, can I give you? Let me run these lines. Buddy.
Oh, you're excited? Yes,
I am excited for these. I'm not going to disrespect Tomasek like Stoff did this morning.
I heard about this.
Here's.
I thought that was Bob's signing.
Here's what I would like to see.
Okay,
McDavid with Hyman.
Yeah,
and Ike Howard. I'm just gonna rip that Band-Aid off.
Go at it.
I'm just gonna do it. Let's just jump in. Let's just jump in and see what happens.
Let's do it.
Draisaitl with Mangiapane.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
You are a spicy boy.
Do you not like that line?
You are a spicy boy.
I like that line.
Mm-hmm.
Nuge.
Center.
Okay. With Henrique.
Yeah.
And Savoy. Couple of vets.
Yeah.
With the young guy.
Yep.
Start him on the third line.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Janmark.
My boy.
Centering. Podkolzin.
Where he should be.
And Tomasek.
Oh, sick. And
then Philp, Lazar, Kapanen as the extras. Obviously one of those guys will be sent down, maybe even two depending on the cap, but
listen, I don't know David Tomasek. I don't dislike David Tomasek. Just to reiterate, it's just the concept of going and getting obscure European guys and being like, here you go, come play on our team. And he was compared to me to Roman Cervenka, and I was like, what? Anyway, I just feel like, or would be curious and cautious as to how a offensive player like David Tomasek would handle being a fourth liner.
Can I throw a wrinkle in here?
You may.
What did you say on? I still would have done it. What did you say on Monday about Hyman?
It's going to take some time for him to come back.
Okay, then. So,
and he admitted it at his golf tournament.
So if Hyman will not be back to start the season, then it sounds insane, but does Tomasek get a bit of a look in the top?
It's not crazy to think that.
If Hyman can't start the year,
yeah,
who plays with McDavid and Howard according to my list?
Maybe it's an open competition. And
it could be Savoy.
And it could be, sure.
No, you're not going to put two rookies with McDavid. I think it'd be
no, and that would be a lot to ask of both. That'd be like, what a heavy burden. However, the door being open for Tomasek on that line potentially.
And as a short-term, quick look, let's see if it works.
Yeah, I think that's okay to discuss it, and maybe it is a possibility because what are you going to do? Like, you're going to be like, no, you start on the fourth line and you prove that you could play offensive hockey, the NHL. No, you were brought to be offensive. You're supposed to add some offensive punch. The fact you led the SHL in scoring last year is kind of what got you this contract. So I think if there's a scenario where, Hyman is still rehabilitating that wrist injury and it's taken some time, we talked about the complications of it, then yeah, like I would think logically you would try Tomasek to see if it works.
Yeah, you could leave Nuge.
And you're right. And it could be temporary.
There's some other things you could, but just a temporary peek at it.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, if I'm looking at, like, if you're looking at, okay, Hyman can't play till November or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Janmark of these guys, Janmark, Podkolzin, Kapanen, Philp, Lazar, and Tomasek. Tomasek would be the guy undoubtedly that I'd rather get a look at because we know a bunch of those other guys can do or not do. But I am very intrigued by a Mangiapane Frederick line with Draisaitl.
That would be a very ornery line to play against now, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Would it not?
Yeah, you got one guy who could beat you up because he's bigger and stronger than you. Then you have just an absolute German bull.
Yeah.
And then you got another guy that skates around fast and he's an absolute pain in the ass. And they can score on you. That's enticing.
I'd like to see that line.
Maybe. Guess what? We'll probably see 3,721 of the 4,387 combinations that are possible this year.
Knobloch already has his whiteboard in his office that has the lines he likes and then the lines that'll start the second period in game one. He's got the whole period laid out.
And he should. And that is fantastic. AI and spreadsheets are wonderful things.
So an eventful 24 hours here for the Edmonton Oilers. As they go out and they pick up Ike Howard, Hobie Baker winner. And, if he can play, and I take Button's word for a lot. I mean, Button knows a lot of these kids. He's watched them play all along the way. He seemed pretty confident that this guy can slide in and play right now in offensive situations. And if that is indeed true, then all of a sudden, I mean, your top 9 forwards look pretty good.
Yeah. If it eases the pain of the losing the guys that they did, the veteran guys, that's good. It brings a little optimism to Oil Country because people were pretty down on the team and the management team after free agency. And we didn't give them good grades. But maybe this helps.
Max Mazuzu says, I like Howard with Nuge so that Howard can drive play and Nuge can just do all of the stuff that he does well. There's lots of different ways you can sort of work this lineup. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Ryan from SK says, I would actually look at moving Matthias Janmark out.
You watch your mouth.
That's Tommy's guy.
That's my boy.
And he also has a 10-team no-trade list.
Which is unbelievable. I'm just kidding, of course.
No, that is unbelievable.
No, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The watch your mouth thing to Ryan.
Oh, yeah. He's just kidding. Yeah. Bone says Mangiapane with McDavid and Hyman. Frederick with Draisaitl and Savoy. Ike on the left side with Nuge and Henrique. Yeah, I think any combination of those 9 guys is kind of intriguing. There's no Kapanen. There's no Podkolzin. Sorry, I know you're a big Podkolzin top 6 guy after the show today. Yeah. But there's none of that. So
that's okay.
We always, and it's not just Edmonton, it's every team in every sport of all time. You always put too high of expectations on young guys. Right? It's not even a hockey thing. Ooh, Blue Jays are up 1-0.
They had a bunt single.
Really?
Yeah, that led to a run.
Who was who bunted it?
Number 55?
Not Barger.
No, newer guy.
Okay. Well, whatever. That's one. Let's keep it going. But is that not the case? Like even in baseball?
Yes. Yeah.
Like all sports, it's always like, oh, this young guy's going to step in and he's going to like, Savoy's going to score 20 and Howard's going to score 30. And then they each score 14.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people freak out, but you shouldn't because they're rookies and that's not a bad season.
That would be, like, I would say that's successful.
We need to remember this in February.
I told Trev, I'm like, Trev, I could see this Ike Howard getting like 10 goals, 12 goals. And he's like, no, way more. I'm like, okay, if he does, great. But if we're talking about a 10 or 11 goal season with 27 assists, I'd be like, you know what? That's a pretty good rookie season. Is it Calder worthy? Maybe not. Probably not. But I would still say that's a success because the consistency, the defensive game, then the offense comes. Like that would be, I think, a respectable season. I think if we are talking next year at this time and we're going, well, Ike Howard had a 34-point season, I'd be like, that's encouraging. People, oh, he should have had 50 or 60.
Yeah.
That would, to me, that would be putting too much expectation on him. But if he could do that, phenomenal. If he doesn't and he only gets like 30, let's say, I'd still be like, I think there's some good signs there.
Baggio texts in and says, Dusty, Knobloch is Doctor Strange, who can see all the possibilities, but only one brings the Stanley Cup.
Like,
remember, he's
and
just
his
like,
head is like moving all weird.
And then Iron Man, Tony Stark looks at him and he goes, how many? And then he looks at him and goes, the one.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Somebody needs to Photoshop Knobloch onto Doctor Strange. You've seen all 4,300 line combinations.
Yeah.
How many will bring you the Stanley Cup? One. Let's have somebody do that for Friday's oil streaming.
That is funny.
All right. Great golf tournament yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Koob, what's coming up on EST afternoons here, buddy?
Well, tons of discussion regarding the newest Oiler, Ike Howard.
Of course.
Where he might slot in as well. Continuing that conversation. It's just me and Hernan on the show here today.
No Gager today.
No Gager. Yeah, he's on vacay or whatnot. Of course, we had our EST Golf Classic yesterday, and he was like, Zach, you better take care of Hernan. So
oh, boy.
I'm going to try to.
Hernan's okay now.
He had a fun time yesterday, Hernan did.
Yes, he did.
We'll recap a little bit of that. Everyone had a lot of fun. We got Hernan's World for the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club as well. Inside the numbers for Play Alberta, John Hodge from 3 Down Nation will be checking in to talk some CFL. And Tim Mulroney, F1 IndyCar Insider, will be popping in to talk about Horner being let go by Red Bull.
That is big news.
CJ in LA says, northbound on the QE2 to Edmonton, oil stream keeping me company. Next stop, Eddie, a.k.a. God's Country. CJ, drive safe. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for texting in. Thanks for listening. Drive safe and tell your friends about EST. All right, that is going to do it for the oil stream today. I'll be back tomorrow morning on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for the Oilers for dropping a trade early in the offseason. Great for us to discuss that as well. And the line combinations will continue to come rolling in fast and furiously through the offseason. For Tommy Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Take it easy.